Hello, magandang araw ulit sa inyong lahat mga ka-DDS. Meron naman po tayong video papakita. May video reaction kay Boy Tulog at kay Maria Ressa sa kanyang mga kabubuhang katanungan kay Boy Tulog. Kasi nangyari yun sa video, si Maria Ressa, siyang nagtatanong kay Drilon kasi hinahanapan niya ng sagot na inaasahan niya, kabaligtaran, mga negative. Pero kayo na lang po ang bahalang humusga sa mga sagot ni Boy Tulog kay Queen of Fake, Maria Ressa. Pero kung hindi pa po kayo nag-subscribe, pindot na sa subscribe button kasi marami pa po akong papakita mga video, reaction video, trending news na katulad nito.
All right, Senator Drilon, thank you for joining us. We just watched President Duterte's 5th State of the Nation address. One of the first names he mentions is yours. How did you react?
Well, I was surprised, to be candid about it, and I'm not the enemy. Our enemy is the pandemic, and he says that he took exception to my having mentioned oligarchy. Oligarchy is bad for our governance. No question about that.
Ayan, dun tayo sa number 1. Sabi ni Drilon, ang oligarchy is bad for our governance. Pero very obvious naman na sinusuportahan niya yung ABS-CBN na isang oligarch, di ba? Yung sinasabi niyang bad for our governance, yeah, that's right. Ang meaning kasi ng oligarch, sila yung mga malalaking tao na nagko-control sa ating pamahalaan at sa ating mga leaders.
First bills that I filed in Congress first week of July, about a year ago, or 1916 or 2016, was an anti-dynasty bill.
Kasi nangyayari ngayon, sa panahon ni Duterte, bakit parang binubuhay niya yung anti-dynasty law? It's very obvious na siya natatakot na nababahag yung kanyang buntot. Kasi lagi siyang tinitira ng ating Pangulo. Pero nyo sa Sona, special mention, sa mga ilang paragraph lang, tapos ito na, tinira na si Boy Tulog. Kasi ba naman, di ba, lagi tinatanong ng ating Pangulo, yung tubig sa atin, masyadong nagpahirap sa bayan. Low quality na, pugak-pugak pa ang tulo ng tubig sa atin. Mga interruption napakarami. Hindi maganda ang serbisyo. Tapos masyado pang dihado ang taong bayan sa kontratang nakapaloob doon. Lahat pabor sa water concessionaire, kaya lagi sinasabi ng ating Pangulo, isa ka baron sa nag-drop ng kontrata. Kaya nagagalit ang ating Pangulo sa iyo. Tapos bira-birahin mo ng anti-dynasty. Lalo kung magagalit ang Pangulo sa iyo.
So, you know, the president thought I was referring to him. No, I was not. It has been a bill that I filed since even before. And, you know, he mentioned about my favoring the Lopezes. Maria, I owe nothing to the Lopezes.
Sabi ni Drilon, I owe nothing to the Lopezes. O sige, wala kang utang sa mga Lopezes. Pero ano ba yung ginagawa mo? Ba't pa na yung pagtatanggol mo sa mga Lopezes? Tapos paulit-ulit ka pa na parang sirang plaka. Same answer every time. Press freedom, yung mga 11,000 na kawaling matatanggal.
The fact that I defended ABS-CBN because it was on the principle that the unjust act of the House of Representatives poses a danger to our press freedom.
Sabi ni Drilon, the fact that I defended ABS-CBN. Niya dinedependahan yung ABS-CBN, lalo na rin sa panahon ng pandemic. Bakit ngayon pa pinasara sa panahon ng pandemic ang ABS-CBN? Very unjust daw. Sabi niya, unjust act of the House of Representatives. O sige, di kontrahin mo yung 70 congressman na bumoto sa hindi pagpabor sa pagbibigay ng franchise. Sige, kontrahin mo. Hindi naman si Duterte yung nagdesisyon yan eh. 70 congressman. Buti pa nga ang Kongreso ngayon, mas lumaki ang tiwala ng tao kasi nakita namin kung paano nila dinitalye. Nanalo ang taong bayan dito.
And that's all that I was fighting for. Number 2, especially the need for information at this time when pandemic is before us.
Sabi mo, kailangan ng impormasyon ngayon. Sa totoo lang, Drilon, anong impormasyon ang nakukuha namin? Mga fake news? puro paninira sa ating Pangulo. Bawat gawin niyang magaganda, mga build, hindi man lang binibigyan ng pagkakataon na ilathala, puro paninira, puro fake news. Kung puro fake news lang din ang mapapakinggan namin, buti pang wala na lang.
When we need all the information outlets available, and certainly ABS-CBN had a wide coverage. And
Sabi ni Drilon, we need all the information available, and certainly ABS-CBN has a wide coverage. Oo, wide coverage. Kasi yung prangkisa nila, ay yung frequency pala nilang ginagamit, masyadong napakalakas. Kaya talagang wide yung coverage nila. Pero dahil wide coverage, wide din ang pagpapalaganap ng mga maling information ang paninira sa ating Pangulo. Kaya pasalamat ako, mga ka-DDS, salamat din sa inyong lahat, pati sa Kongreso natin, na hindi sila nabigyan ng prangkisa.
number three, I was concerned about the livelihood of the 11,000 employees in ABS-CBN.
Ito, ulitin ko ulit concerned daw siya sa 11,000 na nawala ng trabaho. Talaga mga ka-DDS, pinaglulukon tayo nitong boy tulog na to Talagang insulto to sa 70 congressman na hindi talaga bumoto sa pagbibigay ng franchise. Biro mo, concerned siya sa 11. Itong 70 na to, nag-isip yan, umati ng hearing, kaya narinig nila yung katotohanan. Drilon, ano ba yung gumising ka naman?
I do not know why the president has opened his Sona with a complaint about my having taken a position on ABS-CBN. It's probably because he thought that when I said that in order to remove oligarchy from our system, we must have structural changes. And part of the structural change is precisely have an anti-dynasty law.
Eto, nagulat si Drilon. Sabi niya, hindi rin niya alam kung bakit when Duterte opens his Sona with a complaint about his taking opposition on ABS-CBN. Talagang titirahin ka talaga ng ating Pangulo. Kasi sa sobrang galit niya sa mga oligarko, hindi lang ABS-CBN, di ba yung water concessionaires nga natin? At isa ka sa nag-drop. Alam ng Pangulo yan, nararamdaman ng Pangulo. Tinatanong nga niya, isa ka ba sa nag-drop ng maanumalyang kontrata ng water concession? Kaya galit na galit ang ating Pangulo kasi masyadong talong taong bayan. Buti pa makiayon ka na lang kay Duterte. Baka mapatawad ka pa niya. Bakit ba nung naging Pangulo sa PRRD, naging malaking issue yung anti-dynasty law?
Yeah.
How would you, let me pull you out then, Senator Drilon. I mean, you have been one of the most experienced legislators, government officials that we have had. How would you describe the Philippines today?
Oh, my thinking is that the next 6 months will be very crucial. And for us to just survive the next 6 months is already a success. So, and that is why, Maria, I'm willing to cooperate with the administration. I will fiscalize, but I will support the laws that are needed. I voted for Bayanihan too, and because I think our people needs the assistance, and I wish that we can concentrate on that.
Ay, nako, mukhang nabahagang buntot dito ni Boy Tulog. Nagbago yung tono. Mukhang okay. Kasi alam mo, kung hindi ka makikiayon talaga, Drilon, talagang bubugbugin ka ng Pangulo. Talagang hindi ka niyang tatantanan. Biro mo sa Sona, special mention ka. Kasi puro ka kontra ng kontra noon. Dapat humingi ka ng tawad. Ngayon pa lang isipin mo na kung paano ka luluhod sa ating Pangulo. Baka sakali pa na patawarin ka niya. Saka patawarin ka ng taong bayan.
Maria Ressa or Senator Drilon are not the enemies. Our enemy is the pandemic.
Maria Ressa and Senator Drilon are not enemies. Our enemy is the pandemic. Hoy, kayong dalawa. Mas matindi pa nga kayo sa pandemic Kasi kayong mga wala ng lunas. Kasi para kayong mga virus ng Pilipinas, at least ang pandemic, merong naimbento ng bakuna at meron na ring gamot. Kayo mas matindi pa kayo sa virus. Mga virus na na wala ng kagalingan. Kaya gumising kayong dalawa. Kung Maria Ressa, yung pagmumukha mo, nakikita ko sa screen, talagang kumukulo yung dugo ko. Kaya nga lang, kailangan kitang pakinggan para mag-counter-react ako sa mga sinasabi mo.
That also seems to be a way that the Duterte administration works, right? Demonizing perceived critics, demonizing perceived critics, demonizing perceived critics.
Demonizing perceived critics. I think it's the other way around, Ressa. Actually, you are the one demonizing our president. Not only to our president, but the people and the country. Na gusto lang naman talaga namin pagbabago. Parang hindi ka Pilipino kasi hindi namin nararamdaman yung pagmamahal mo sa bayan. Puro ka kontra. Saka hindi mo ba nararamdaman? Wala nang naniniwala sa'yo. Saka ang kapal ng mukha mo. Diyos ko, ano bang pwedeng iharap mo pa sa tao, sa amin, na hindi ka naman na pinaniniwalaan?
How do you work inside what seems to be, with the vote of ABS-CBN at the working group at the House of Representatives, what seems to be a captured legislature? How do you work in this environment?
Sabi mo, captured legislature? Alam mo, Ressa, wala ka na talaga magandang sasabihin. Kapal ng mukha mo, kayo mga dilawan. Kayo talaga yung numero unong pinakamakakapalang mukha sa pagsisinungaling. Kahit huling-huli na sa pagsisinungaling, ano bang sa demonyo yung meron kayo sa utak nyo, sa katawan nyo? Anong klaseng demonyo yung dumapo sa espiritu nyo?
Well, we in the Senate, in fairness to my colleagues, we take positions on various issues on the basis of our honest belief as to what is for the good of the country. And a number of us in the Senate would often take a stance independent of the administration. But I do, and as I said, in these times when we need all hands on deck, I'm willing to support the administration. If, for example, as I said in Bayanihan 1, we pass it. I'll vote tomorrow. We will pass on third reading Bayanihan 2, and I'll vote for it. Because I feel that at this time, when it comes to pandemic, we set aside our political differences.
Set aside political differences. Oh, so okay, sige, okay. Okay din yung ginawa mo na bumoto ka sa Bayanihan Act, sabi mo. At buboto ka pa rin pag sa Bayanihan Act 2. Bravo, palakpakan si Drilon. Okay yung sinabi mong yon. Pero dapat, alam mo Drilon, alam mo Boy Tulog, dapat lubos-lubusin mo na para maniwala talaga kami sa'yo. Para mapatawad ka namin kahit papano. At totoo lahat yung sinasabi mo. Sa bagay, thank you kasi bumoto ka sa Bayanihan Act, terror bill, isa ka rin sa okay. Maraming salamat. At least diyan sasaludo ko sa'yo.
The business community and the medical community were looking to the State of the Nation address to give concrete guidelines moving forward. With the absence of that, how do you see us moving forward dealing with a pandemic?
I was among the first who called on the president to give us a clear path forward. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I said I looked when I was asked by media, what do I want to hear from the president? I said, I want to hear from the president a comprehensive plan.
Yung sinasabi mong comprehensive plan, ayun ang ine-expect mong marinig sa ating Pangulo. Pag yan, inisa-isa ng ating Pangulo sa kanyang Sona, kahit isang araw hindi pa siya matatapos. Pero yung kanyang ginawang Sona, napaka-comprehensive kasi lahat sinakop.
Contamination today has reached over 82,000.
Yeah.
Yes, and this will continue. The prediction is that this will go over 85 to 90,000 by the end of the month.
Alam mo nga, Boy Tulog, buti nga ang kaso sa Pilipinas nasa 80k plus lang. Alam mo, sasabihin ko dito sa UK, mayamang bansa, kumpleto sa pasilidad, maraming pera. Alam mo yung kanilang COVID cases, more than 300,000. Tapos ang namatay sa kanila, ang death rate na nila, 45,000. Samantalang sa atin, halos wala pang 2,000 ang namatay. Tapos 80,000. Samantalang ito mayamang bansa, pero kami rito hindi nagrereklamo. Hindi namin tinutulig sa yung Prime Minister kasi naiintindihan namin kasi ang pandemic, walang ano rito, nakahanda. Ang Amerika na nga lang, di ba, milyon-milyon? Parang hindi mo naman nababalitaan kung anong nangyayari sa ibang bansa. Tapos tayo, mas malaking population natin, 109 million. Samantalang ang UK, 67 million ang tao. Pero meron na silang 300,000 cases, 45,000 death. Ano ba masasabi mo dyan?
We have 5 million of our people, 5 million of our workers who lost their jobs. We had something like 5 million families who experienced involuntary hunger in the last 3 months.
Tapos sinasabi mo pa rito, 5 million lost their job, 5 million families nagugutom. O, hindi lang naman sa Pilipinas, dito ang dami ring nawalan ng trabaho. Kasi ang kala nyo sa amin, tanga yung hindi kami nagbabasa ng balita sa ibang bansa. Ano ba naman yung Drilon, Ressa?
About 400,000 of our small and medium scale industries closed. So these are very difficult problems that our nation faces, and I'm willing to contribute my share for whatever it is worth. But as I said, it's the duty of every Filipino to do his or her share in bringing our country back to its feet.
Palusot ka pa, Drilon eh. You're always opposing Duterte in so many things.
But how do we protect our democracy? What we're seeing is that the pandemic has also seemed to have been used as a way to consolidate power, including the anti-terror law, which you also voted for, right? So how do we protect democracy in the time of the pandemic?
Well, we should not allow the use of this pandemic as a basis for discarding our Constitution. The Bill of Rights should be protected in the face of all of these pandemic steps taken. There is really a tendency to disregard everything in the face of the pandemic, and it becomes a very attractive proposition, but we must guard against that, Maria.
The shutdown of ABS-CBN would have been unthinkable if we weren't all under lockdown, though, right?
Yes.
So we've lost a lot of ground. How do we regain
Yes.
that ground back?
I'm sorry?
We've lost a lot of ground.
Yes, we have lost a lot of ground. I agree with you. How do we bring this back?
Yes.
I do not know, but we cannot give up.
Great. Senator Drilon, thank you so much for your thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alam niyo mga kachika babes, mga ka-DDS, mukhang hindi nakuha ni Ressa yung gusto niyang marinig kay Boy Tulog, kay Drilon. Kasi do alam natin na si Drilon kulay dilaw, pero sa mga litanya, yung mga kanyang sagot, parang medyo magaang siya kay President Duterte. Di ba sinabi nga niya, isa siya sa anti-terror bill, umayon din siya sa Bayanihan Act, yung mga ganon. Saka parang hindi ganong galit yung kanyang mga litanya. Kaya siguro si Ressa parang disappointed. Ay nako, mga ka-DDS, bahala na kayong humusga sa ewan ko kung anong klaseng interview to. Sobrang kapal ng mukha, nag-i-interview pa na ang dami niyang kasong hinaharap ngayon. Kaya lang siya nakakawala dahil sa bail, di ba? Wala nang naniniwala kay Ressa, tapos in-interview pa si Drilon. Hindi niya nakuha yung sagot na gusto niyang marinig. Siguro kala niya sasagot si Drilon ng ayan si Duterte, ba't ako binanatan sa Sona? Bakit ganon? Siguro kala niya ganon ang isasagot yung mga negative. Mukhang lumambot si Boy Tulog sa interview ng Queen of Fake News. Sige mga ka-DDS, hanggang dito na lang. If you like the video, please don't forget to like, share, comments, and even subscribe kung hindi pa po kayo nag-subscribe. Ang masasabi ko lang mga ka-DDS, your opinion matters. Saludo ako sa inyong lahat mga ka-DDS. Marami pong salamat at isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat.